Hey there. Hey, little Miss Runny Nose. Oh, yeah? Hmm. You're not that sick, right? Ay, princesa. Mm-hmm. So what you're saying is you don't need or want this big bowl of Pozole Rojo. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You do want it, huh? Uh-huh. And you say what you want, baby? You want the Pozole? Yeah? Well, this is made for sick princesses. You know, little princesses who have runny nose and can't breathe right. Would that would that be you by chance, my love? It is? You're sick princessa. Good girl. Come on, sit up. Hmm. Pull the bedside table over. Make sure it's stable and pulled over you correctly. I have it in a platter at the moment, but I want to put the plate and the bowl down on the table itself. Good girl. It's really hot, so make sure you blow on it properly before you start eating, okay? Alright, I hope you enjoy. Then, come back. While you're eating up, I'm gonna do. Huh? No, I'm gonna clean up the kitchen first. You want me to tell you about the dish? But don't you want to focus on eating, my love? And you like listening to me talk? You like listening to me talk about the food that you're eating while you're eating it? It's like watching YouTube, but better. Alright, alright. Well, the meal is called Pozole Rojo, or well, in English, Mexican pork and hominy stew. Mm-hmm. Pozole. Yeah. Well, it basically, it's just. Okay, how do I explain that? My mom, when I used to live back home with them, I guess even when we were kids, huh? She used to make this in like this big, massive pot whenever my little siblings and I would get sick. Yeah, well, all of the herbs and spices are really good for like detoxifying your body, and it's also really rich in nutrients, which when you're sick and you're coughing and sneezing, you start lacking, you know? Plus, when you drink it really warm like this, it helps soothe the throat. Helps with that little sore throat you get from coughing all the time. You want me to tell you how I made it? Mm, well, remember when I woke up really early today to make sure that I made you some tea and get your meds so you wouldn't have to get out of bed? Well, that's when I started. So I initially took the meat out of the freezer. Uh huh. I used the ham shocks that I got. No, ham hocks. Sorry. Yeah. mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Once they were torn out, I salted both and then added black pepper, and I made sure I rubbed it into the meat really well. I used the two really big ones because I wanted a really rich flavor. So once both sides were covered, I take out a pan and I seared them for a few minutes. It was just to make sure both were just like really crisp on the outside. And once they were both good, I took them out and then I put them aside and I left the pan there because I want to use that pan for the rest of everything. That's when I added the garlic, the onions, and I cut them really fine and sauteed them until they were really soft. Yeah. And remember last week I had worked on some chiles? Mm-hmm. So I took those out and I heated them up. I made sure all of the seeds were like out and everything. And then I added that on top of the onions and garlic that was being sauteed. Mm-hmm. Okay. So remember, I put the meat in, I seared the meat, I took the meat out in that same pan, I added onions and garlic, and then I sauteed that till they were soft. And when they were soft, I added the chiles on top of that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And once that was in the pot, that's when I added back the ham on top of it. Yeah. Then I added pork broth to it. I made sure that it was filling the pot as much as I can. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say pan? Oh, no. It's a pot. I had a pan separate to heat up the chiles, and my brain got them mixed up. I'm so sorry, my love. Mhm. So, just to make sure we're on it together, we cooked, we sauteed all of the onions and everything in a pot. The chiles just got heated on a pan, right? When the chiles were heated, then we added that to the pot with the onions and garlic. And once that was added, we added back the ham hooks, right? Mm-hmm. And then to that pot, we added the pork broth and we lowered the temperature. So we're letting that simmer for about an hour. Mm-hmm. We cover the pot and we just let it go. Once it's done for an hour, that's when we take the fire off completely and we take it off the stove. Mm-hmm. That's because we're gonna take the liquid out, right? With the chiles and everything. We want to just leave the meat alone in that pot, and we're adding it to the heat safe blender. The one with the red tape. I made sure I added that. It's mainly because I didn't want to get it mixed up. But that's why we have two blenders. One's for cooking meats and seasonings and stuff like this, and the other one I use for like sweets and treats whenever I need them. Some foods leave back like residue or stains or flavors or tastes or scents. No matter how much you wash or clean it, just doesn't come out, especially the strong, potent ones. So I prefer to have like two separate. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we add that to the blender, okay? And then we add some other stuff like dried oregano, cumin, garlic, onions, etc. And we blend that down until it runs really smooth. Of course, we'll like take a spoon or something to just constantly run it while we're doing it, not while we're blending. We're gonna blend it, then we're gonna stop. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, and once it's running smooth, we're gonna re-add that to the pot on a low heat and let that simmer. Mm-hmm. That's what simmering means. Okay, remember? Yeah, good. Once it's in the pot again simmering, we're gonna step aside and we're gonna slice up more meat. We just had some extra pork chops, so I like cut the fat off of that and then I minced, well, not minced, but I cubed the pork. I could have used another piece of the ham hocks, but I wanted to use just the pork alone so that I can cut them into little cubes. That way you don't have to like bite and chew on bones or anything like that. When you go for a spoonful, you can just take a spoonful after spoonful after spoonful and just go. You don't have to stop to chew or to pick anything out. Yeah. Oh, you can actually taste that. Yeah, I did. I added two bay leaf on top. After I added the meat to it, I added two bay leaves on top, bay leaf, and then I closed it down and let it simmer for another 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. Well, this was a slow cook, so it sounds like a lot, but most of it can be made easier with like a lot of prep time. Because remember, I did a couple of stuff like last week or the day before or this morning. It's just been like, it's been a couple hours of making it, but it was mainly just there simmering. And I wanted it to simmer for a while because I wanted the meat to get really soft and almost like, I don't know, fall apart when you just barely touch it with your tongue. That way all of the juices soak into it. It's really good, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, the only time I really have to go pay attention to it is when it's simmering. I just gotta go every like 10 to 15 minutes to make sure I'm stirring it so nothing gets stuck to the bottom. But if it's on low heat, then it should be fine. Mm-hmm. Well, I started that early today because I wanted to time it perfectly with lunch. And whenever you woke up, I wanted to make sure if you woke up hungry, there was something for you to eat fresh and hot, you know? I wanted to get all those bad, icky things out of you with a nice, refreshing, hot soup. Are you finished eating, my love? Did you enjoy it? I'm glad you did, Princessa. There's more if you like. And you want to save it for later? Maybe tomorrow? Of course, mi amor. Aww. Is someone getting sleepy? Getting sleepy after eating? You're like a baby. Enjoy your nappy time, my love. I love you. Forever, always. Hey there, everyone. Today's recipe is called Pozole Rojo. It's a very, very culturally rich dish in most Mexican cultures. Most people that are like actually of the cultures can probably debate that this isn't really Pozole Rojo. It kind of is and it kind of isn't. This was just a very simple dish that I wanted to show to everyone. I am going to be making this throughout the week myself. So if I do ever make it and I feel confident in posting pictures, I'll make sure I post pictures on like Twitter, Patreon, and YouTube community. Also, my previous script, like this, the cooking one for a picky eater, got voiced by another voice actor, and that made me really, really proud. Okay. Thank you for listening. I hope you learned to make a new dish today. I hope I was very clear and very simple with the instructions. I have the ingredients down in the description below, so if you yourself are interested in making this or giving it a try, feel free. Okay. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like and a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next audio. Oh, bye bye. I love you. Mwah.